I thought it would be helpful to share a couple of stories about how I actually booked two of the biggest guests that I've had on, because I think it could be useful for people about
Mhm.
just like doing good and putting good out into the world with no expectation. So the first one was with Gary Vaynerchuk, and he came on the podcast, episode 39. And that was way before I quote unquote should have had him on or had the audience to have him on. But what happened was I had an old blog post that I wrote about him in 2008. I screenshotted it, put it out on Twitter. He followed me from that screenshot. I screenshotted that he followed me. In the comments, everyone goes crazy saying, you should go on this guy's podcast. He eventually goes on the podcast because one guy sends a message saying, hey, I don't know if you're still here in these comments, Gary, but you definitely should go on this guy's podcast. The person who did that, I had sent a book to a week prior with no expectation, just because I thought it would be helpful for him at where
Mhm.
he was at. So that like piece of goodwill
Wow.
probably led him to send that message and that reply, which then got Gary on the podcast. So that's one thing. Another
Mm.
story is Andy Frisella, the creator of 75 Hard. Some people don't know him, but like his fitness program has been seen by millions of people and has been done by millions of people. And he had a huge influence on my own journey. There was a guy who wanted to start a podcast, a former MLB baseball player. I sent him a message saying, hey, man, if you ever want to start a podcast, let me know. I'm happy to jump on a call. We spoke for 30 minutes. That guy went through his friend to his friend was Andy Frisella. And then I interview one of my heroes and somebody who really impacted me. And so
Mhm.
I didn't ask him for that. I had no expectation of it. It was just like I was hopping on the phone with something. So what has moved the needle on audience growth? Being a good person and helping people with no expectation.
Funny how that works.